Hey guys! Today's video is going to be a question and answer video about the time in my life where I moved out to live on my own. So I gave you the chance to ask me some questions on Instagram and you did, so I'm going to answer those. But let me just give you the most important information. I was 18, almost 19 when I moved out to live on my own. The reason why I moved out back then was both because of some private stuff at home, but also I was ready to do it. I felt okay with the thought and idea of having a place on my own, and I was kind of ready for it. So I think that's basic information about it. So now let's just find some questions. Did you feel nervous? Actually, I didn't. Also, when I moved out, it was like I told my mom, I think 3 weeks or a month before actually moving out, that I was thinking about it and maybe I was gonna do it. And then I just moved out. Like, it happened very quickly. So from one day to the other, I had kind of just moved out. I really felt ready to live on my own and have my own place and take care of everything by myself. Like, it was okay. I thought I was ready for it. Was it difficult to handle all of the responsibilities on your own? No, actually not. Like, I'm a very responsible person, and like, I had a lot of chores at home. Like, I had been very used to cleaning up, washing my clothes myself, just all of that stuff. The only thing I was nervous about was maybe getting in a situation where I couldn't pay my rent, because that is it's a very bad situation to be in. So I think that was the only thing I was nervous about. How do you and Daniel share the economic cost of the apartment, food and rent? Here in Denmark you get some money. Whoa, I almost dropped my phone. Here in Denmark you get paid when you study. So Daniel and I, we earn the same amount of money. Daniel and I, we just split everything up into, like, we split the rent, the food, water, heat, all of that stuff. We just split it up and pay it together. And yeah, that is how we do. And then everything that we buy, just to please ourselves. If I want my chocolate milk, then I go buy that myself from my own money, and if Daniel wants something that isn't for me, then he pays for that, and that's just how we do. We split all of the things we need to pay, and then all of the fun and stuff is something we pay ourselves. So that's just how we do it. Do you have a job? No, I don't. Well, I don't know, some disagree, but I think I can call YouTube my job. It's not because I earn a lot of money doing this, but I do earn just a little bit, and I think I can call that my job somehow. But I get my money from studying, which is kind of seen as a job here in Denmark. I'm paid to get a nice education so that in the end I can make a lot of money also for the society. Here in Denmark you pay a lot in taxes, and that's the whole point with trying to get people to take a good education, so that in the end you will pay a lot of those money back, or hopefully more than that. So my studies are my job, and then besides from that, the only money I make is making videos for you guys. So that's it. That's my jobs. How old are you? I am 21, so I've been living on my own for some years now, of course with Daniel, but like, it has been a couple of years since I moved out from my mom's place. So how do you manage to do all of the household stuff next to your school work? Well, actually I don't think it's that bad. I think washing dirty dishes is the most annoying part of living on your own and not having a washing machine. Like, it is something that's on my list. In the next apartment I want a dishwasher. That's for sure, because it is so annoying, and Daniel and I, we often discuss like who's supposed to take the dirty dishes, and it's so annoying. I hate dirty dishes. So I think besides from the dirty dishes, it's okay. Like, I cook for myself, and once in a while the apartment needs to be cleaned, and that's also okay, it's fine. Actually, I don't think it's that bad. I think a lot of people put the idea of moving out and living on your own, I think people make it harder than it really is. Like, I only have to care about what I think myself and of course Daniel, but so we just clean when we think that we need to clean, and we eat when we want to eat, and we sleep when we want to sleep, and it's just, so there's not a lot of stress. There isn't. How do you manage to come up with dinner plans every night? That's so hard, and really I have to admit that Daniel and I, we eat too much pizza. Like, we shouldn't be eating that much pizza, but really it's so hard to figure out some interesting meals every day. I think this is a struggle for everyone, and it is for me as well. Daniel and I, we often just eat something simple and plain and boring because it is so hard. Did you set yourself a grocery budget, and how do you manage to stick with it? Daniel and I, we have a grocery budget. It is 2.000 danske kroner. It's about $300 that Daniel and I, we have as a budget for like grocery shopping every month. And sometimes it's very hard to stick to that. Denmark is an expensive country to live in, so sometimes it can be very difficult to stick to that. So sometimes we experience that on the 24th or something, there is not any money left on the bank account. This month is a great example of that. It is the 23rd today, and our food account is empty. But we always make sure to have some money on another account if this happens, and it sometimes do. That's just how life is. We had a lot of things to do this month. Also, it was Daniel's birthday, and then we used just a bit of extra money to celebrate, and that's just how it is. So, but we have a budget that says $300 a month on groceries. Was it sad to leave the place and all the memories from where you grew up? I think leaving my old bedroom was the hardest part, and like packing everything was the hardest part about moving out to live on my own. It was so weird taking everything and just seeing my room, my old room, just getting all empty and stuff. It was so weird. Also, it was packing all of my stuff that made my mom cry, and she was like, she didn't agree with me moving out. She thought I was too young, and she got very emotional packing down all of my stuff. So I think that was the hardest part about moving out. It was taking all of my stuff, putting it into boxes, and seeing my room all empty, and then taking my stuff somewhere else. That was so weird. What do you study? I study multimedia design and communication. That was an easy one. Thank you for that. Do you ever feel lonely when your boyfriend is not home for a couple of days? No, it's actually kind of funny. I spoke to some of my girlfriends about it the other day. They told me that they had a very hard time sleeping when their boyfriends was not around. And I am just not like that. I have a great time without Daniel as well. I am a loner. I like to be alone. So whenever he's not around, maybe I don't eat a lot. Like when he wasn't here for the last week, I only had dinner. Like it was the only meal I had every day. But sleeping alone and being alone, that's fine with me. I really like it. I actually enjoy it. I have the time to do everything I like to do, and I can just do whatever I want. I really like it. So I have to say that's not a thing I experience very often, to feel alone. I like to be alone. So would you miss your independence if you had to move back to your mom's for a reason? I did that last winter. I had to move back to my mom's place for 2 months because we were searching for an apartment, and that was so hard. Like, that was so difficult. Being used to do everything whenever you want to do it, do everything in your own way, have your own schedule for everything, just your own rhythm of the day. It was so hard. So I think when you have moved out, lived on your own for a while, it's not really possible to move back home. It's weird, and it's hard. Do you miss your mom cooking for you? Yes, yeah, I do, a lot. I think that's something I miss the most, because whenever I got home from badminton or whenever I did something and I came home, the fridge was always filled with stuff and my mom was always there to make something or go buy something I could eat. Like, there was always somebody there to make sure that I could eat something and had some food, and that is something you miss a lot living on your own. If you did move again, would you want to move to some place bigger or smaller or the same size? If I move, I hope it's going to be a house or somewhere with a garden. I would love to have a garden and some place to plant a lot of flowers and stuff. So I hope it would be bigger, and I hope it would be a house with a garden. But yeah, I don't know what the future will bring. What do you do when you're only you, alone at home? I paint, I make jewelry, I draw, I watch TV, I watch movies, I listen to music, I sew, I cook something, I make something, I don't know, I do a lot of stuff. Like I said before, I like to be on my own, so I enjoy that. So that was it. I hope I managed to answer most of you guys' questions. I had 37 or something, but I think and I hope that I managed to answer all of them in some way, more or less. So I hope you learned something from this video, or just heard about my experiences with moving out to live on your own. This was my experience, and yeah, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. If you ever have any suggestions for future videos, you can always comment, write me a message on Instagram or something, and I'll make sure to look into it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you. Bye!